So we're just going to have a look at finishing now the jigsaw when we've run it through our laser cutter and sent it back to you in a wee little bag. I'm going to run through a way of marking out that is probably not necessary for this project, but it is a standard way of marking out for wood tech, especially at our senior levels. So we're going to have a look at that and just a couple of presentation things. If your jigsaw is on clear acrylic, they actually show up really great on darker card, but you're going to need a piece of card. A4 will work really well, and the clear jigsaw is showing up really nicely through that. The idea is just that you're going to decorate the front of it. If you are using black, something like your whiteout marker or white marker or pastel is going to look really great. So do think through a careful design. You might want to put the person's name up here or an image, and then on the inside of the card, just to make it a little easier for them, we're going to print out a photograph from your Google sheet of the image that the jigsaw is, make it a little bit easier, a bit more traditional. They have a picture to follow, but we do need to mount the jigsaw in there as well. So I've got example here I think will be a bit easier to see in this one. It did have a go with a wooden one, and obviously it's sort of slipping all over the place. So here is what you need to do. Take your card, fold it in half. The way I like to do it is just to line up both corners, that one and that one. Get those on perfect, and then you can work away from yourself to the center. So I've got my thumbs in the center and out to the sides, and that should give you you know, a nice evenly folded card. Then we're going to kind of have a look and measure the overall jigsaw. So these were, sort of doesn't show up as well, does it, on the pail? These were 170 wide by 120 high for most of the jigsaws. Now the card itself, we need to find the center line across that 170. So let's move it back a little bit on the camera. If I measure across here, I've got my 170. I need to put a little, sorry, I've got 210, and I need to put a center line. So half of 210 would be 105, and I'm just putting a little mark there across the 105, so I can sort of see where the center is along that dimension, and the same across this one. So I've got I'm picking up 148, and I'm going to put a little center line on there. Half that with maths is 74, and I'm putting a little marker at 74, and I need to do that marker at both sides as well. So we're going to have all four with a little ordinate in showing the center of those dimensions. So I've got another one to go. Measured it out, 148, halve it with maths, 74, put a little marker at 74, and again in the middle. And you can do this in a really pale, delicate way. We don't particularly want it to be seen. We're going to rub it out later. Make sure you use pencil. So I've got my 210, halve it with maths, it's 105. My mark goes at 105. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pale, delicate little centre marks. Now the way that we do this in technology is to use that as an ordinate from the jigsaw's measurement. So this is one bit easier for me to hold, that it isn't in separate pieces yet. But my dimension across here was 170. Halved with maths is 85. Now what I can do with this ordinate here is measure out from that centre mark 85 in both directions, and that is going to make sure that it centres this jigsaw on the page. So I've taken the measurement of the jigsaw, that's 170, I've halved that, so I know that both halves of that want to be at 85. So I'm going to mark that onto my card now. So I'm taking the centre line that we just put on, and I'm coming out 85 and putting a little mark. Same in the other direction, 85 and putting a little mark. And then we'll do the same over here. So that was 120, halved with maths is 60. So from this ordinate here, I'm coming 60 in that direction, mark, 60 in that direction, mark. So what we're doing is centering the jigsaw on that piece of card. So I'll put my markers at 60, 60, and then back to my other number was 85, 85. And on the last side, 60 and 60. And that's going to show me where to put the jigsaw to sit it in the centre. And what you'll have, and I'm just going to mark these on quite heavy, which you don't really want those too heavy because we're going to want to rub them out later so that we can't see that marking out. But for the camera to pick it up, I'll show you what we end up with. So we do have the centre line, and then I've come away half the length of the jigsaw, centre line, half the height of the jigsaw, and that corner there, that is where the corner of the jigsaw would sit. So the idea is you're going to orientate it up to there. Now what we want to do is take a craft knife, and we just want to cut a little slot as a diagonal, and I'd say you want that about 1 centimetre long. It doesn't need to be enormous, and it's going to be orientated as a diagonal in that corner. So I'll show you what I mean once you've marked your corner where the jigsaw is going to sit. So we've got that corner. I've extended those lines about 1 centimetre, and then I've put in a slot, okay, with the craft knife or a pair of scissors if you can. Might be easier with a knife if you've got one.